All right, guys, we are back in my garage for another video. And if you're like me, your car is starting to get higher in mileage. And as it gets higher in mileage, you'll probably start experiencing things like lower gas mileage, or maybe it just doesn't perform like it used to. It feels lower on power and it's just not as punchy as it was when you first got it. And a lot of people will just chalk that up to the car being old, but in reality, there are a lot of things that you can do to help restore that performance. And so today we're going to be doing one of those things. We are going to be replacing the intake filter in this BMW X7. So hopefully we can restore some of the performance and efficiency we had with the car when it was brand new. Now, granted, we bought this car used, so I'm catching up on maintenance, but it's highly recommended to do this every 60,000 miles just to keep everything working properly and keep your engine healthy. So that's why I'm going to be replacing this at exactly 60,000 miles and not a single mile over that recommendation. Definitely not at 86,878 miles. So yeah, that's absolutely not true, actually. Gonna jump in here and correct myself. You do not replace your intake filter every 60,000 miles. Actually, in the manual, it doesn't list a replacement period for the X7, but because all of these other B58 cars are listed every 40K, I'm gonna recommend it every 40K. And like the other filters, it's relatively cheap and easy to do, so feel free to do it as much as you are comfortable with. And yeah, definitely do it more than every 60,000 miles. So mistake there, but again, I had fun putting that part of the video together and that idea just kind of entertains me, so I'm leaving it. So we're going to be replacing the intake filter today. I'll show you how it works, and check out the links in the video description if you need the parts that you're going to see me installing. Keep in mind, I've mentioned before, but we have partnered with ECS Tuning. So I will be listing parts on their website where you can buy OEM and aftermarket parts through ECS. And those are affiliate links, so it doesn't make it any more expensive for you, but I do earn a commission if you purchase through those links, and that helps support more videos on the channel. So thanks in advance for your support and shopping with me. And let's go ahead and get into the car. I'll show you how to do this DIY. So the first thing we're going to do is replace the intake air filter. And of course that is in the engine bay. So to access that, we need to pull on the hood latch twice, and that'll release the hood. And then we're going to go ahead and lift the hood up, and we can see right in here is where we're going to be working. So this is your intake, and the intake filter is right underneath. So let's pop this off. So the first step to get there is to remove this cross brace, and it has two bolts holding it on. The front bolt is an E12. And then the rear bolt is an 18 millimeter. It's a very long one, so just take your time there. And then get the brace out of the way. Now, just because I have air, I'm gonna try to blow this off a little bit just to prevent dust or anything from getting into the intake. Next, we're going to unplug this MAF sensor right here, and it works just like all the other connectors on these cars. So you've got the white tab that you need to pop up. So we'll use a little trim tool and twist to pop that up. And then you squeeze the tab, push the sensor in, and pull out. And then we're going to loosen this hose clamp. It is a 6 millimeter. And then lastly, we've got these bolts holding the cover on all the way around the perimeter. So unfortunately, it's not like the Gen 1 B58 where it's just clipped on and you can just pry the clips on. You do actually need to loosen these screws. So they're T25s. Work your way around and back them all off. It looks like they stay in the cover, so at least that's good. We shouldn't lose them. And there's a couple down here that are really hard to see, so just make sure you get those two. There's one on this side of the intake pipe, and then one all the way down here in the corner. All right, and then we'll try to carefully pull this off. There we go. And then the intake filter itself just comes straight up. So get your finger under there and lift it up. It doesn't look too bad. Oh, never mind. Looks like we've got a little Habitat for Humanity brewing up air in the corner. So yeah, definitely time to get this replaced. All right, and so as you can see again, this is the one that's coming out of the car, just filthy all the way around. And then this is the replacement that I got from ECS Tuning. So this should be much better, just allowing the car to, you know, breathe and still filtering air properly. This is the kind of OEM upgrade, if you will, that you want to do to keep your engine running healthy. Now, just to kind of help my new filter, I'm gonna vacuum out some of this as well, just to hopefully help extend its life and not preload it with the mess that's in here. So if you have a shop vac, I highly recommend just sucking out all the crap that you can see in there if you can. And then installation is exactly what you'd expect. So just line up your filter and it drops right into the housing. Make sure it's fully seated and flat all the way around. And then we're going to reinstall the cover for your intake. Slide it into the intake pipe first. Get that fully seated. And then lay it flat on your lower intake box. Make sure you line up all the screws and stuff and tighten those down. And for those that are wondering, yes, these little screws do have a torque spec, so make sure you don't over torque them. Beep, beep, beep. 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 That's what I get for playing around. Shout out to the grabber though. This has saved me more than once, more than I care to admit. And the last one, I'm gonna not play around this time. Beep, 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 beep. And then we'll go ahead and reconnect the MAF sensor. Don't forget to snap back in the little white tab, and then we'll make sure this hose is fully seated and tighten down the hose clamp. And yes, the clamp has a torque spec, so yes, we're gonna make sure we hit the right torque. Beep, beep, beep. And then of course the last step is to reinstall your cross brace. So line up the holes and reinstall the bolts. And again, these do have torque specs, so follow that. I'll have all torque specs listed in the video description. And then we're done with the intake, so close the hood. And next, we'll do the cabin filters. And yeah, it's pretty much that simple. So it's very similar to any other B58 engine, although in this case, like I said, it has screws instead of the clips holding the top cover onto the intake box, but everything else is really straightforward. So it's a really simple and easy mod, relatively cheap, and something that you can do regularly every 60,000 miles or so to keep your engine running at its peak performance. So again, hopefully this helps you out. Shop at my store for these parts as well as others for maintenance as well as upgrades on your BMW. But otherwise, that's it for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below.